African American male is and will always be there for his children. Now, we may go through some hard times, some trials and tribulations. Things may be against us, but we will always be there for our children. So what we decided to do here is to bring some strong, powerful African American men to talk about that and let you know about why we know what the world may not want you to know, that African American men stand up. There may be some that don't. There's some that don't stand up in every place. You don't hear about that, but every race has a man that don't stand up. Every race has a woman that don't stand up. Everybody has that, but we want you to know that statistically, African American men stand up for their families. Give us a call, 312-754-4333. Baby, what's that next question you've got? And it's going to go to my boy Darren over there. Hoorah!
I didn't want it to go to Darren.
Okay, well then.
I'm sorry, Darren. I didn't want to get out one to you.
Okay, well don't. Okay, you just gonna smite the brother like that?
I'm not smiting.
Man, let me say. When we get outside, we'll take care of her. We'll do that out there. But go ahead. What you got?
I wanted to go to Mr. Les over here, and the question is: do you feel that men who blatantly do not take care of their children are weak men?
Yes and no. I'm going to say yes because they've got to feel it in their heart that something's not right, that they're not there. And I'm going to say no because I don't think it necessarily makes them weak. Maybe they're misguided, and maybe they have not found the strength to break that continuous circle. Maybe that's how they were taught by their dad, and his dad was taught by his dad. But I think that it doesn't make them weak. It just means that they have to do some things different. And I'm an encouraging guy. It's what I believe in. And I think no matter what you've done wrong, you can be forgiven, and you go to your child with less of you and more of God. You pray on it, and you continue, and you never give up, and you have that undying love that a parent needs for a child.
Yeah, you know what, and I'm gonna go to Darren because that's my boy. You can just, when we go into church the next time, just don't say nothing to her when we go in there the next time. But you know what, and I'm just cheesing with it. But answer that question just a little bit about that, because I want to go around the table on that one actually in regards to is it I'm gonna tease Les because Les said yes and no, and I'm like, I don't know, Les, you got to pick one or the other. And I'm going to say my part, but answer that question again and let him throw that out there.
Do you feel that men who blatantly do not take care of their children are weak? And after you go around the table, I want to play devil's advocates and add to that.
Okay, well, you good at being devil. I know that much, but go ahead.
And an advocate. Whatever.
You're going to pay for that later.
My answer to that question is that I feel that men who don't take care of their children are blatantly weak because of the fact that the child needs the father to be a stronghold in the family. It's like having a head without the tail. Yeah. What God says that we are the head, we are not the tail. And I believe that the man should be there to provide, the cover his family, be self-sufficient so that the child can lean on him when he have questions or when he have a need. The father is there to give him great instruction, to lead him, to motivate him, to provide character for him, and to teach him. And without that, I feel that the family is in jeopardy because of the man not being there.
Amen. Anthony, talk to me.
An individual, whether it be a mother or father, that doesn't take care of their children, like in my case, there was an absent mother. She didn't show up on birthdays, Easter, which was important to the kids. I know it's a commercial holiday. Christmas and the other commercial holidays that America celebrates. But she didn't show up. So I had to encourage the kids to not think small of their mother. With that, what I do in counseling, because I do counsel, mentoring, and single parenting coaching, with those three I just named, those titles or those hats I wear, when I find a young man or an older man who falls in that category, one of the things I do is I ask him why. And then I think about what my father told me. He thought or assumed that I wouldn't accept him back into my life. But some of these same men who I categorize as irresponsible, I ask them, why you're not in your children's life? And they know I've written a book. They know the things that I've done. So it sort of intimidates them, and I try to say, listen, let me pray with you, because you have an opportunity right now to change your behavior. You know, there's a saying that goes on, it takes 20 years to change your culture, but you only one dominant thought away from changing your behavior. And I always give them that opportunity to be able to look into themselves, do a self-evaluation and say, how can I change what I've done these last 20 years, not seeing my child, or these last 15 years, because I've been irresponsible. I've been derelict in my duty. I have not been the father. I have not been present. I have not supported them. I have not given them anything. I apologize. You can see them break down a lot of times because nobody actually asked them or confronted them. Why? The question is why. And they need that opportunity to be able to express why, and then there's a start for them to be able to take that why and make an action plan where they can begin to do something that's in alignment with coming closer to become that father, a responsible father as opposed to irresponsible father.
You know, I've got to give me a few seconds to clarify my yes-no answer. There is a father somewhere out there listening now, and he's in tears. He's in tears because we're saying simply because he's not involved, he's weak. But there are so many factors that come to play here. You have the mother who's keeping the child away. She's with the child 24/7, so she's in the child's ear telling him that dad's no good and talking him against dad. So what I'm trying to get those listeners to understand is that there are fathers that want to be good men. They don't know how to do it because it wasn't done to them, and now they're dealing with the situation where the lady's not doing her part. She doesn't realize how important a man is in that child's life. So she's talking that child against the husband. And so he's getting it from all angles. So again, yes and no. And I'm going to keep encouraging those men to be less of you, more of God, rebuild that relationship with that lady, and find a way to get into your child's life.
Okay,
and I like that. Yeah, I'm stopping you. This is man's world. Yeah, I like that. You know, I like that you do. That's what our show is all about. You know, talking. You know, about certain things, and you stood your ground on that. So I commend you on that. And it's true because we don't necessarily know some of the reasons or the stereotypical ideas or ideology of why certain things are happening. So there can be a weakness, but it's not necessarily mean it's because of him. It could just be because he's being pushed back on certain situations. And so we don't want all men to feel, as Les was saying,
let's pray for him.
You know, yeah, we definitely got to pray for them and let them know that there's strength, you know, strength in numbers. Hey, you know, Anthony's got the thing where you can come into the what was that thing called again? The man cave. And so we you could talk about that a little bit more.
Solomon's Man Cave.
Solomon's Man Cave. And so you can do that. And men need to get together. One of the things that's bad about men is that we always are separate from each other. We're always thinking that we can do it alone. We need each other's help. Speaking about a man who wants to take over charge over things, what you got to say over there, baby?
Oh, you tripping tonight because you got your little man on the panel with you.
Go
now,
ahead.
I'm about to play devil advocate because I learned to
you're gonna play my part. Okay, go ahead.
Now, that's all good and well said from Les and Darren and Anthony about the man, but he's the yes and the no thing that we want the men to realize we out here. But let's just get super, super real. Everyone's not saved. Everyone is not a Christian. You got that brother who have multiple babies spreading his seed around the United States. Let's say he have 10 kids, and he ain't trying to take care of none of them. What do you have to say about that brother? I do see that brother as a weak individual. I could produce them, but I don't take care of them. So I'm going to go back to you, Les.
Okay. I think you're talking about the minority. I think that because human nature says let's focus on what's negative and let's put that before the world and say this is who the black man is. But the truth of the matter is that the scenario you gave, It's out there, but it's very minor. There are a lot of men out there who are struggling to take care of the children that they have. So I say this, let's do something different. Let's not let human nature take control. And let's be real about this. That's the minority. There are some good fathers out there, and to that man that has 10 babies out there, and I know you might not like this, but we need to have a conversation with them baby mamas.
Preach.
All 9 of them.
Yeah, I said it. I'm going to need security to the car.
Hey, man, you know what? Hey, there ain't nothing wrong. That's why I say to know our glory, you got to know our backstory. You got 10 kids out there. Somebody else need to be talked to other than the father. Papa wasn't a Rolling Stone by himself. Talk to me, Anthony, for a second.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to Darren. Darren, what you got to say about that with her and that devil advocate? Because it ain't that many men out there that got no 10 kids.
Oh, believe me.
Come on, 10
is.
kids. Oh, come on, 10.
Yeah,
maybe.
Wait a minute, Darren, before you start. One was in Vegas trying to get a prostitute with 10
Yeah,
kids.
yes.
Well, that's alleged. That
is alleged.
It
yeah.
has not been proven.
Right.
And he was fine with it, he said.
Okay. But, Darren, what you got to say about that? What she talking about the 10 kids, and what did you say again?
My input on that situation as far as the 10 kids is that society puts a stereotype on us, whereas it feels that all black men are incapable of providing for their children and raising their kids to be strong leaders of men. I feel that in society, as far as having 10 kids, some men meet that challenge head on trying to raise their children, but they're incapable of providing for their children because the economy is set up for them with no education not to survive. I feel that they have to better equip themselves as far as getting an education and doing what they got to do to get the monetary funds to be able to take care of their children and raise their children to be to the best of their ability.
Now, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, it is. Did Anthony, did you talk about this one?
No, I didn't. It's I've seen this, and one of the reasons why I do what I do is because of that type of generational pattern within various communities where that type of behavior is executed. What I try to do is rescue their sons or the daughters, try to help their sons and their daughters. One of the reasons for the Solomon's Man Cave, and let me do a shout out to my wife that I've been with for 11 years. I just want to say she's my inspiration, and she's been a blessing to me in so many ways. Matter of fact, she thought of the man cave. I pursued it. So I just want to just give her much love and much kudos, accolades in terms of that. But what I've done is actually created programs for their sons so that their sons won't repeat that generational pattern. Now their sons will have an opportunity, since their father didn't listen, now their sons can listen. Their sons can come and embrace job opportunities that we have in our career builders, job readiness programs, and then our entrepreneurship program. They can embrace that. This way, they have something to look forward to. They have something to shoot for. They can be better than their fathers. And then after their fathers find out that, listen, man, my boy is not having 10 kids or 5 kids or all these daddy baby mamas or whatever. They're doing something with their lives, and it just may give the father a chance to raise an eyebrow and say, if my son didn't come out like me, maybe I should be like the son. Sometimes the roles reverse.
Yeah, and and that's also true. And we've got to get to a point where we're removing this stereotypical ideology of what an African American man looks like. I'm going to let my baby now go into another portion of the segment that we do called relationship letters. Baby, talk about that relationship letter and what you're going to talk about today.
I'm back in, you guys. I'm back. Okay, this letter says, Dear LST, I'm a single parent raising my 2 small children ages 7 and 9. I won't get into why I am raising them, but I am, and I don't regret it one bit. Yes, there have been challenges that question my abilities of being a single parent, and sometimes I constantly doubt if the decision of me raising my children alone is a good one. I'm writing because real men need encouragement too. I know I created them, and they are my responsibility, but sometimes I need a little help as well. I don't mean financially, but in other ways. Are there any support groups out there for single dads?